Now comes what is arguably the most important part of any painting, which is the contrast stage. And this is where we can really bring the painting out of the paper. So first of all, we'll begin with the black, and we'll go back to the eye area, which is the important part, and just strengthen where you've already been with the markings and the spots. And now is the time to make any adjustments that you may have spotted earlier, for example rounding off the eye. I might indeed, in this case, put a little bit of shadow under that reflection just to make it a little bit more realistic. And then simply a matter of going over your original black pastel outline and strengthening the markings here and there, because we've applied some layers of colour over the top, and so we need to really sharpen up those aspects that we want to be more pronounced at the end of the painting. So especially the markings around the eyes, they're very important. They will bring all the focus and all the attention into the centre of the face, which is exactly what you want when you're dealing with a portrait. So continue around the forehead, really give these dark spots a little buzz with your black pastel. Get that little eyelash on that side again. And a nice dark line running across the top of the very strong, very pronounced forehead. And again, these little spots around there, really give them some strength. This will also help to tone down the colours that you applied earlier on, so it makes the whole thing look a lot softer when you're finished. Notice that I'm still applying the black pastel in little strokes. We don't want anything that's heavy or rounded or hard when we're dealing with fur. Everything has to be stroked. And there's nice important markings down the side of the nose. Again, these help to give shape and form to the nose as well. All the little markings on leopards really do help to give the form and shape. The whisker follicles as well. Again, these are a key to giving you a shape for the muzzle. So if you have this slight curve of strokes going back, then you'll get the shape of the muzzle as well. That curving shape. And we strengthen this little black section which comes down to the chin. Again, if we come back there, it gives you the shape of the lower jaw. So all the markings really do help in giving you total shape and form. And finally, we'll go into the ears. Little black tip on that ear. A bit more black edging around this ear. And flick the strokes outwards so we can see the edging of the fur. And the shadow area, which is very important. Because these ears are like a shell shape, so they'll have a deep shadow inside. But also at the same time you can help to give a feel of the fur texture inside the ears just by stroking it like that. And finally edge the fur around the head, just coming down into the neck, and leave the rest of the neck rather subdued. It gives all the focus and attention into the central part of the face, which is exactly what we want. Just check everything else is okay, and then that's it. So, the final part is to use white. Now this is more or less the first time we've used white in this painting, apart from the highlight in the eye. And essentially we're going to cover all the extreme light bits with the white. The highlighted grey fur shows up quite white in the light. So we'll start around the eyes again, underneath the eyes, quite an important area. What happens when you apply the highlights, the white, is that that particular area then starts to come forward. It starts to almost come out of the paper and into your living room or your studio, wherever you're working. So anything that's highlighted will come forward, anything that's muted or dark colours will recede. So arguably this is probably the most important stage, the highlights. So again, look for the strong highlights in the fur in your reference photo. Don't put any white in where you've only got the soft highlights, it won't work. You really need to just emphasise those areas that are important. So particular attention has to be paid to around the eyes, the cheeks, this little section just below the eyebrows, and a little soft highlight on the nose, a little bit around the cheek there. Again, we're using the same strokes as before, the first strokes. No need to push it too much with your finger because we want these first strokes to be obvious. And then the final part will be highlighting the muzzle so that we can set it off against the grey background. And the nice big furry chin. Nice bold strong strokes of white here. Really get that fur singing. Little suggestion of the neck as it fades out. Which only leaves us a couple of things to do to tidy up. First of all, we'll just pep up that highlight in the eye, just to make it a little stronger. And then secondly, whiskers. And it's simply a case of using the sharp point, committing yourself and dragging a few little whiskers along here and there, and we'll make a couple of these black as they are in the painting as well, in the picture. And there we are. I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration of the snow leopard portrait and that it's given you an understanding of the simple and methodical approach that you need to produce your own portrait paintings. When you're dealing with any portrait, be it animal or person, it's the details that matter. So have a close look at the spots on the individual animal you're painting and try to duplicate those as much as possible. This will identify the particular individual. And for that really close-up look, pay a visit to a zoo or a big cat sanctuary and have a close-up look yourself.